Moss does such a good job praying. I think that covers us for both. So we will move on to public session. Do we have all the names? All the names?
Ask and see if anybody else is going to speak.
First is public session. We have 30 minutes total for members of the...
Skip the
Sorry? Oh, thank you. Let's talk about minutes. Do we have a motion on minutes?
I move that we adopt the meeting minutes of 10/9/2023.
Excuse me. Motion on the table is to approve as written the reading of the regular meeting minutes of 10/9/2023. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Thank you. Now, for real, let's do public session. 30 minutes total for public session. Members of the community are welcome to speak. I've got a list here. I'll call your names. If I didn't call your name, you may have came in a little bit late. That's fine. I'll give you the opportunity to do so. Just as a reminder, I'd like to make this comment from time to time. This is our opportunity to listen, not engage in dialogue. If you have follow-up from your comments, my card is sitting right there behind the administrator. I welcome you to send me an email, give me a phone call. Willing to talk to you. Mr. Nolan, welcome. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you all?
Good.
Hey, my name is Ryan. I live over in Central by the Mill, and I'm here to talk about the ordinance that y'all passed in the summer with regards to our election changes. I'm just curious why we're changing from a majority, or from plurality to a majority. And I was looking at the ordinance, the city ordinance today, or the tax city ordinance today on the website, and it still has us listed as using the plurality method instead of majority, because as y'all know, we have a runoff election this upcoming Tuesday, which is 2 days before Thanksgiving. And I'm just curious why we decided to change that, because that is just going to cause us to have to pay for staff for early voting, and then we're going to have to pay the staff that works at the polling place, and we have 5 polling locations. I know some of them are going to be combined for this, but I was just curious why we're doing that, because it's going to cost us money to do that. It's going to be probably $2,000, maybe more dollars to do that staff, and why we're going to have that when we hadn't had that way for a while. And also with the turnout for that, we had about 300 voters come out on election day, and for the runoff, that's during that week. It's Thanksgiving, kids are out of school. Turnout, maybe 100 people, less than that, and we're paying thousands of dollars to do it. So I was just curious why we're going to change that. And did y'all consult the Pickens County Elections Office before you made that change, or is this just something y'all decided to do? Because it's quite frankly not a great decision. It just costs the town more money when we have the election results. We won. If you won by a vote, you still won. They did a recount. It's not a great process for us, and I'm just curious as to why that happened.
Happy to follow up with you.
Okay.
Thank you. Mrs. Beckner.
I'm going to read my statement, and I'm allocating 3 minutes from a person who lives near us to extend my comments. I don't care as long as my 3 acres aren't disturbed. If you don't like it, sell your house and move. Council members or volunteers. These are all statements that have either been said to me directly or in the community in the last 3 years, including most recently before this election. I'm here to address issues that have been festering in our city and demand our immediate attention and rectification. It is evident that the political landscape in our community is undergoing a significant transformation. The electorate is sending a clear message that incumbents are at risk of losing elections because, frankly, they are failing to listen to the residents who entrusted them with their votes. A democracy is only as strong as its representation, and it's time we reaffirm our commitment to the principles that define it. A pressing concern is the power dynamic between the council and the town. Let us be crystal clear that the council is here to manage the town, not the other way around. Recent events have raised troubling questions about undue influence, turning a once accountable body into a mere puppet. This erodes the trust that residents have placed in their elected representatives. Transparency is not a buzzword. It is a cornerstone of a healthy democracy. Yet our recent experiences challenge this ideal. Restricting residents' speaking time and limiting participation based on arbitrary criteria only serves to muffle the diverse voices that make up our community. This is not transparency. This is a calculated attempt to stifle dissent. Every document you have here tonight is a public record and is subject to the FOIA laws. It should be made available to the public before we come to these meetings. Equally disheartening is the lack of transparency in the agenda setting process. Issuing vague agendas a day in advance devoid of supplemental materials and meaningful information does a disservice to those trying to engage in the civic process. We deserve better, and our democratic rights demand better. Let's talk about the development of the so-called natural space residential district. Promises were made, and promises that have been bulldozed, along with the greenery that we were assured would be preserved, including a large tree that is, I assure you, older than this town. It is now gone. What we are left with is a stark contrast to the assurances given. The excuse that property owners have the right to do as they please falls flat when the city has the authority to set guidelines that prioritize the collective well-being of our community. To rectify this situation, I propose that the city consider putting your community garden in the middle of the GSH property on Lawton Road. Because after all, it was supposed to be a natural space. And as far as I can tell, the only natural space that exists is around the riparian buffer zone around the creek that they would have had to preserve anyway. Are you planning to test the soil of the railroad property where you want to pit a community garden? Because I wouldn't want to eat produce that's been grown with contaminated soil. I must also address the troubling dynamics involving women who dare to question or speak out. The dismissal and degradation of women who seek answers and accountability are just unacceptable. They are indicative of a broader issue within our leadership. We as women are not ignorant. We recognize that we're being lied to, and we will not stand idly by as our concerns are dismissed. These issues extend beyond the developer, infecting the very core of our city. As elected representatives, you are not volunteers, you are public servants, accountable to the citizens who put their trust in you. This isn't just about a lack of trust with the developer, it's about a pervasive lack of trust in our city. I implore this council to reflect deeply on your values, your roles, and evaluate the current dynamics and engage in sincere dialogue with the community. The status quo is no longer acceptable. The tide is changing, and it's time for a recommitment to true transparency, genuine accountability, and the overall well-being of our community. Furthermore, we must address accountability issues within our community, extending to all employees. Transparency and accountability must be the pillars of our governance to ensure the safety and trust of our residents. Residents shouldn't have to attend every committee or council meeting to hold the city accountable. In addition, we must strive for equality in promoting businesses in our town. All businesses deserve an equal chance to thrive, not just those in the inner circle of some city officials. We need a fair and transparent system that fosters a level playing field for all, promoting diversity and ensuring the economic well-being of our community. I have refrained tonight from naming anybody and calling anybody out personally. However, I want to make it clear that come the next election, I will be sharing voting records publicly who have supported for the pro-development ordinances in our town.
Your time's almost up. Are you finished?
The residents have a right to know where their elected officials stand and whose interests they truly represent. In closing, let me emphasize I speak as an individual, a citizen with a voice that will not be silenced. My views are my own, representing the collective concerns of a community that demands better.
Thank you.
Thank you. We need a shout.
Ms. Holden.
Oh, you can strike mine. It got answered.
Okay. Ms. Grady.
Well, good afternoon, good evening,
Good evening.
everyone.
How are you
Don't
today,
make me
Rosa?
surprised that I'm back.
It's
Welcome.
good to see you.
Thank you.
Hey, Rosa.
I'm Rosa Grayton, I live at 101 Cantrell Drive, Central South Carolina, like everybody know. I want to ditto off of Ms. Beckner, what she said. I take it real seriously. I'm a female as well. And I don't like being denied when I pay taxes and not being heard. And you all work for us. okay? And we do expect for the things that we come, that we work out a plan and stop overlooking us as citizens of Central South Carolina. I want to first say congratulations to those that have won the elections and those that's coming up. One of the things from the meetings, the various meetings, I've noticed that there is no togetherness. People don't know what's going on. I agree with Ms. Lynn about each council member need to rotate and get to understand what's going on in the community. You let a young man and woman come up here and talk about affordable housing when we, the BLC community, have come to you all about NOAA and about having a tax, you know, whatever it's called from the states. We've come to you all about the community, but we got ignored. But these people come up and they gave no paperwork out for the plan. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything advertised, and that's kind of rude. And then you talk about, and I give it to the mayor, about letting people come in because someone was discussing, supposing somebody has a child support issue. See, when we get above and beyond who we think we are because you don't sit where other people sit, you don't know what's going on in their lives. And then we talk about bringing somebody, people here to Central, they telling y'all anything. I've seen right through them. Where's the paperwork? That's what I ask. But you're giving them to go ahead. Then we want to talk about the chickens, because I like chicken. The last time I came here, I believe you was talking about it was something about cars or something, and it was written documents that you hand out, and because this person was going through a battle, some kind of issue that they've been notified, you know how you do the ordinances? We're talking about putting chickens in the ordinances. That ain't even least our problem. That shouldn't even be on the agenda. That shouldn't even touch us. But for some reason, everybody's getting sidetracked on the important things that need to be done here in Central. And I'm going to double dare you. Transparency needs to be done. Now, I've been holding back because I said I want to do an audit. Because I need to find out what's really going on here in Central. And I've been laying back due to illness. But I'm back. And we're going to get some answers. So if you're going to work for me and you're going to be a city council person, every last one of y'all need to step up to the plate. Thank you.
Any other town residents who didn't get a chance to sign in would like to speak?
Can I ask a quick question?
You can make a statement.
Make of this. I just wanted to tap on the question that Ken asked real quick. Before, while everybody's brain is still there, he asked the question about the front yard. Is it unattractive in the front yard? And the response was, the assumption when I moved in, there wasn't there when I moved there. Like earlier in the discussion, that is going to require a very long list of things I thought weren't in the front yard that are now there the next year. A long list of things that I never thought you were going to put a pool in your front yard. So I agree that that assumption can't be made based on what's not there when you move there. Just wanted to drive that point home.
Thank you. Come on up.
Good evening.
Good evening. Could you give me your name again? I'm sorry.
Amy Gray.
Thank you.
I live here in Central, a new resident of 2 years, and of course you all have seen me before. I just wanted to touch base again on the issue with the fowl, and Mr. Deal, I appreciate your comments on that. Everyone has animals for different reasons and different purposes, and we are required as decent human beings to be responsible for our animals, for our children, for ourselves, for our family. Why chickens are pulled out to be different, I don't know, because, you know, if you take care of things, you take care of them and there's never any issue. Just like there's no issue if my neighbor wants to have 10 children and they're outside screaming and hollering, that's no big deal. Nobody has, and I know that sounds like an extreme example, but just to make my point, if people are being responsible humans, they're going to take care of their animals, whether it be chickens, dogs, cats, rabbits, goats, whatever it is. You know, we have if there's an issue with someone's children, if someone says, oh, your children aren't being cared for, what happens? They call in CPS. If you've got chickens and they don't look like they're being cared for, somebody can call somebody and somebody can come check it out. My point is, we are regulating things that shouldn't matter. We do have bigger issues going on than what kind of animals people keep in their yard. And I just feel like it's when you're talking about the setbacks from property lines, if you have a coop and you have a property line of how far you can be from it, are we going to go back and every person in Central that has a dog house in their backyard, are we going to make them move it because it's too close to a property line? And I'm not trying to be contrary at all. I just want you all to understand there are some things when it comes to an ordinance that is absolutely unreasonable. Chickens are one of them. Chickens are pets that happen to provide you food. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Got just a few more minutes left, sir. Could you remind me your name again, sir?
Yes, Brock Bailey. And, so my wife and I, we own chickens, and on Reformation Day, or others know it as Halloween, we were issued a courtesy warning ticket. It wasn't nailed to our front door, thankfully, but of fowl running at large with a date of 1/1/24 that these things must be corrected by. And so some things I'll just point out. Things had asterisks by them, I guess, that we were supposedly not in compliance with, and quite a few that we are in compliance with. So I guess a question I have in light of the current ordinance being postponed, how valid is this warning ticket since things were asterisked that we are in compliance with? Does that make it null and void? Does that mean another warning ticket must be issued? I mean, am I expected by 1/1/24 to have met this or lose privileges, be fined, be ticketed? I never had a ticket in my life. We're tax-paying, law-abiding citizens. I never had a speeding ticket. I never had a warning for anything. So just want to see, as a tax-paying, law-abiding citizen, kind of what I would like to think is a model citizen in the community. And I'm not the only chicken owner that has restrictions or coop size, I guess you could say, that are probably not within the parameters right here. Have there been other tickets issued? Would be another question I would ask. Am I being singled out? What do I do going forward would be a question as I try to be a law-abiding citizen in this town, and I'm being made a criminal at this point because I want to provide my family, be able to help my family, and be able to be, to some degree, be able to sustain any supply chain issues that might be out there. I do want to say one thing. I do think Paige, she has worked extremely well, diligently proposing the need ordinance today. I do thank you for that. But at this point, if you're having a fire truck meeting in December, you don't have to look at this until after 1/1, which puts me getting a ticket by our officer here, who kindly delivered the warning the other day. So I just, I'd ask your help on that. Is there anything I can do? What can I do at this point to not get a ticket and still keep my chickens and be able to provide food for my family and still be a quote-unquote model citizen? So,
Grab my card there.
and,
Thanks. Move to receipt and disposition of petitions. Anything to be made aware of tonight?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have a petition for annexation at 133 New Farm Road. That has been forwarded to the Planning Commission, so it will be presented at another council meeting.
Could you say that address again?
Do what?
What was the address again?
133 New Farm Road.
Where is that?
That's
Pike.
off of Pike, the one that has the gates.
Oh, okay. They're in town limits?
They're petitioning to annex
Okay,
that particular property is.
okay. Thank you.
Anything further?
Do what?
Any further petitions?
No, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. Reports from council committees. Planning, Ms. Bowers?
You will have a meeting next Tuesday at 6:30. If we have a quorum. when we checked last week, we were going to. I also have a letter from one of our planning members that they wanted presented to council this year. It is from Tripp Brooks, and I'm just going to read it if that's okay.
Please.
He's going to give you some background. As a part of the development review process for the Springwood Grove neighborhood, currently under construction on Walton Road, the developer agreed to build sidewalks along Johnson Road to accommodate foot traffic from the neighborhood to the school, provided that the town acquires easements, the developer will build the sidewalks. The current stage of the development process requires that the town staff acquire surety bonds for roads, sidewalks, and sewer infrastructure prior to final plan approval. The town master plan notes improvements in the multimodal and pedestrian transportation as objectives in several sections. With that background, I petition council to direct resources to the acquisition of easements along Johnson Road for the purpose of sidewalk construction between Springwood Grove and Central Academy of the Arts. Further ensure adequate surety bonds are obtained from the developer to cover these potential sidewalks as well as the infrastructure within the property boundaries. This could be a wonderful way to welcome a new group of residents to the town. It will provide this group the same access to the school that other residents in Brockwood already enjoy. It is a potentially inexpensive way to address concerns within our master plan. It may also help address some concerns raised during development review related to the current use of the road being primarily pedestrian. I would like to ask that the administrator give us an update on where we are on providing those easements or obtaining those easements.
Thank you, Councilwoman, excuse me. We've been working on getting the easements. There's really a two-part to that. One is we were wanting to cross the road sooner rather than going all the way down on the side where Spring Grove is. So we've been talking with the property owner on the other side of the street. We haven't gotten word back as to whether they'd be willing to give us some easement over there to where the developer will put the sidewalk. And the other issue that I have is I would rather have more of a 10-foot walking, biking trail like we're trying to do as we put new pedestrian walkways in. So we're still working with the developer on making it more of a 10-foot walker biking trail. That way people can pass each other comfortably. So we're working on it. We feel pretty confident that the sidewalks, the walking, biking trail is going to be there.
Thank you. Do I need to just move ahead as though I received a yes from council for the other two? Do I need to ask for that?
I don't think so. There's nothing to, there's no legislation necessarily to vote on, right? It's just a direction that we're comfortable with that. I think we've solved that in our work session.
That's all.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
In the letter that Paige read, did it ask for action on?
It just wanted us to put resources toward the acquisition, and there's already resources being directed. There's already Tom and Philip are both working on it already.
So that answers the question.
I think it
Okay.
does, yes.
All right, thank you.
Once the easements are finalized, that would require an ordinance or a resolution or?
No.
No.
We have an agreement with the developer that if we can get right-of-way or easements, that they'll put the sidewalk in and the crosswalk.
Anything further for planning?
That's all.
Streets and Public Safety, Mr. Moss, sir.
Just a few things. Central Fire Department had 57 calls in the month of October. And on December 9th, the police department will be doing a tour for tots. And I'd like to announce that the police department is fully staffed at this moment. And the Unity Community First meeting will be December the 2nd from 12 to 12:45 at Central Independent First Baptist. Our event will be April the 13th in Bowling Field. That's all we have, man.
Thank you, sir. Finance and Marketing, Ms. Chapman.
Can I ask?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moss, you gave us a snapshot of showing where incidences and offenses have taken place.
Yes, sir.
Is that public? Is that on the website or somewhere? We can look that up. Or is that just I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
It has to be on, it should actually be on SWOOP's website. Their Clery Act report, they're required by Clery Act, so that's,
Right.
I don't know if that's close enough where that would encompass the entire town.
Okay.
I would imagine it would be. Now, whether it's on our site, I agree, probably should be.
I'm saying it's interesting,
In that book.
but I can't make it get wider with my fingers so I can zoom in on it. And I'd like to be able to do that. See what I'm saying? Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir.
How many times have you tried this?
That's a lot right there in that one section.
What's that? What street is that? Do you know?
With the glasses on so I can see. Just looks down here.
That's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Okay, Finance and Marketing, Ms. Chapman.
Our budget report for a current period of from October 1st to October 31st. Our sewer funds look good. Our sanitation funds look good. Our water revenue is a little bit, 9,000 over in the red. And our general fund is 127,059 in the red. And I'm going to defer to Mr. Mishu and get his input on how that's going.
The water being 9,000 in the hole is not anything to be concerned about. It's going to ebb and flow. In the general fund, we've been having issues in the general fund so far as reporting. In this, I've been using this report for well over 10 years. Since ARPA got dumped into general fund twice in 2 different budget years, it's messed up this report. So Josh and I are working on doing a different, I think what I'm going to end up doing is just taking general fund off of this spreadsheet and creating a new spreadsheet and running a different report. Right now we have $583,000 in general fund. When the new year, the fiscal year started July 1, it zeroed out. And we have been having to take out the ARPA money that's coming in because it came in and then we're spending it and it's showing up in this report and it's just messed it up. And that's gonna, I thought it would stop after the second ARPA deposit, but it's gonna continue until we spend all of the ARPA money. So you're looking at probably another 3 or 4 years. So I need to come up with a report that is more reflective of the financial position. And right now, like I said, the 583 is a carryover from the property taxes and the business license that we got back in January through May. So we're going to come up with something that's a little more reflective. It looks bad. It says it's 127 in the hole, but that's because that carryover of the 583 is not there. And right now we're fine in general fund. We need what I always call the cold months. We need that carryover to last. I like it to last till about mid-January, and that's when the property taxes start trickling in pretty rapidly and start the process over again. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get a new report going this fiscal year. We're gonna try, we were working on it, been working on it the last couple of months. So maybe we can get something that's more reflective.
So the 127 negative balance, that shortfall, that's inaccurate?
Yes,
Okay.
and that's a quick way of putting it, it's just inaccurate. So we're trying to figure out how to come up with a report that is more accurate, which is the 583,000 that we've got sitting there to get us through the cold months. We don't get a whole lot. We get, sometimes we get franchise fees in November, which is not much. Little things trickle in, but we're really depending on what we got in the prior budget year and carrying it over.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That would be all.
Any further questions? Recreation report, Mr. Deal, sir.
Yes, sir, just want to follow up that we're on track to complete the depot as part of our park system by the end of the month. And again, we will be having a special grand opening recognizing donors and people that made the venue possible. Also, I'd like to point out that the Recreation Department has been awarded $61,000. That was the State Parks and Recreation Grant, and that will be used for 3 projects. We are going to use part of that money to pave to the top of the hill at the disc golf course, that road, to put in ADA sidewalks at Community Park for the new playground that's there, and then also to install a safety fence around the playground. And we hope to have all that done by the beginning of the next year, or the beginning of the coming year.
Great.
That's all I have.
Okay. Any questions there? Enterprise, Mr. Holliday, sir?
Yes, sir. Water, sewer, and sanitation for the month of October, the Water and Sewer Department completed 149 work orders, which is 15 more than the previous month, which is kind of in the running with the monthly time. Meters were read on October the 17th, rechecks were done on the 23rd, and they had 32 disconnects from the water. We had 40 last month and for non-payment, and 30 for this month for reconnected, so we're down 8 on those, so that was good. Less work. I don't know why people don't pay their bill on time, especially those 38 because they have to pay a fine. I don't understand it, but they do it. The sanitation department, residential and commercial, was on a normal schedule for the month of October. That's all.
Any questions for Mr. Holliday? Thank you. Tourism and Economic Development, just a reminder of the Christmas parade, December 1st. I know we talked about it, but make sure you come out. Any new business or old business to discuss before ordinances? Hearing none. Introduction and consideration of new ordinances, policies, proclamation, and resolutions. First item up is Resolution 1113-2023. We discussed this during work session. Closing Green Street.
I would like to recommend that we adopt Resolution 1113-2023, closing Green Street.
Second.
Motion on the table is to adopt Resolution 1113-2023, closing Green Street. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, Ordinance 1211-2023, amendment to Section 313-3-3 of Town Ordinance.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion that we table the first reading of ordinance 1211-2023, amendment to section 3-3 of Town Ordinance.
I will second that motion. All those in favor? Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Ordinance 1113-2023, amendment to business license, amending the business license ordinance of the County Central to update the class schedule as required by Act 176 of 2020. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt on first reading Ordinance second reading, 11/13/2023, amendment to business license, amending the business license ordinance in Town Central to update the class schedule as required by Act 176 of 2020.
Second.
Motion on the table is to approve on second reading, adopt on second reading ordinance 11/13/2023, amendment to business license. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Thank you. Mr. Administrator, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just an update on Church Street Waterline project. They're still on schedule to completely be done in February. So that includes, I know you all notice if anybody goes to Walmart, there aren't any sidewalks where sidewalks used to be. So that includes getting the sidewalks done. They've also got to fix Church Street. You know, they got it patched right now. It's just patchwork until they can come back and mill it and put it back the way it was. But they should be completely done with that project. And it's really exciting for the people who live over there. They're going to get much better quality water. So on that note, we're also going to be applying for a grant to upgrade the water lines on Brock Street and part of Wood Street. There's some lines over there that need to be replaced. We got notification from one of the grant organizations that they received our letter that we want to apply, so we're going to be moving forward with that. We also have a land donation. We have somebody that owns a little piece of property in Central that wants to donate their land to the town. It's over there where the pond is, behind the mill. There's a piece of property over there that it's vacant. There's nothing on it. The people don't want it anymore, so they're going to donate it to us. So we're going to go through the legal process of them donating to us. I don't know what we can do with it. There's plenty of options. You can make a little park or something like that, but we can discuss that once we finish getting all that squared away. We also have Shop with a Cop I wanted to tell you about. Let me get my notes out. It is December 15th, 3 p.m. at Walmart. If you know anybody that may qualify, any child that may qualify, there's a link on our police department's Facebook page, and or you can pick up an application at Town Hall. And this is for underprivileged kids. So if you want to go out there and join, or if you know somebody that may qualify, let them know that how they can get an application. Any questions from council?
Sure, Administrator. On Church Street Waterline project, not every morning, I don't want to be dishonest, but most mornings I walk Church Street as part of my exercise. And there are sometimes I feel like they've left holes that are not safe for, I mean, I'm not a builder, I don't know, but is there somebody that we can speak to and say they need to put a cover over it or
Yes, we can address that.
something like that? Could we do that, please, to
We can address that.
make sure that, I don't know if people have kids that live up along there in their front yards and stuff, but it just concerns me that that could happen. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's kind of a two-part thing. They run the main line from, it's actually going from where Hotchie's is, it's going, they still have to bore under the railroad track. So you're talking about going from Hotchie's down Church Street and then all the way to Amanda Court. So what they'll do is they'll lay the main line and where they're going to tap into the houses, sometimes they'll just leave a hole because they're going to come back. But that's why the holes are there. But I can get with them and see if they can cover them up or something.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Anything further?
No, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. I'll move to the last item on the agenda, and I apologize in advance for not including this in your packets, but I wanted it to be a surprise. So you'll have to forgive me for that. I would like to make a motion that we approve the following proclamation. If you'll bear with me for just a minute. Whereas Harrison Holliday Jr. has served the citizens of the town of Central, South Carolina for nearly 40 years with dedication and selflessness. And whereas Mr. Holliday first became a member of Town Council on October 1st, 1981, serving in that capacity for 18 years. And whereas Mr. Holliday was elected mayor of the town of Central in 2001, assuming office in 2002, and serving until January of 2006. And whereas Mr. Holliday, in his capacity as mayor, presided over the completion of this very town hall in which we today honor his legacy of service. And whereas Mr. Holliday returned to elected public service in 2008, serving as a member of the town's council to this day. And whereas Mr. Holliday is a man of character, devoted to his family, who has sought to live out his faith in deed and word. Therefore be resolved that the Town Council of Central South Carolina, its members being duly assembled, do hereby express our profound appreciation on behalf of all citizens of said town to Mr. Harrison Holliday Jr. for his contributions to the betterment of our shared community and the dedication he has steadfastly shown to its people. Now therefore be it ordained as such by the Mayor and Town Council of the Town of Central, South Carolina, this 13th day of November 2023. And I so move, and I will welcome a second.
Second.
Motion on the table is to approve a proclamation on behalf of Mr. Holliday. All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. I'd also like to make a motion that we, pursuant to South Carolina Code of Law, Section 30-4-781, and Legal Issues, Section 30-4-782, that we go into executive session to discuss a personnel issue.
Second.
Motion on the table is to go into executive session to discuss a personnel issue. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. We are on recess.